Good? Okay. So I call this commission meeting today, May the 28th, and the first order of business is an invocation and a pledge. If you'd pray with me. Lord, thank you for the opportunity we have to be a part of the governance of this county. Lord, we ask that you guide us with wisdom and understanding of the issues so that we might make the best decision for all the citizens of our county. Lord, we pray for our state leaders and our national leaders as well. And Lord, we ask that you guide our path with wisdom and understanding. For it is in Jesus' name we pray. Amen. Please stand. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. First item is acceptance of the agenda.
Mr. Chairman, move to approve.
Do I have a second? So we got a motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? Huh?
I was just telling Chuck I'll get consent later.
Okay. So there are no proclamations and recognitions, and so next is the public hearings. Debbie, are you going to help lead us through that?
Thank you. Thank you for your attendance at this public hearing conducted before the Fayette County Board of Commissioners. The Fayette County zoning ordinance requires 2 public hearings for amendments to the zoning ordinance. The first of the 2 hearings is held before the Planning Commission and the second before the County Commissioners. This is the second of those public hearings for the text amendments and rezoning petitions presented today. At each hearing, the board will listen to the concerns of those in favor and those opposed to the case being presented. These public hearings shall be conducted with 20 minutes provided for the applicant and proponents and 20 minutes provided for the opponents of an application for amendment. An applicant may reserve part of the allotted time for rebuttal. Staff will present the details of the request. After the presentation, the chairman will ask for those in support of the amendment to come to the podium to speak, and then he'll ask for those in opposition to come to the podium to speak. Those with comments should keep their presentation brief, and groups should select a spokesperson so many different viewpoints will have the chance to be heard. When it is your turn to speak, please tell the board your name and address and direct your comments directly to and only to the board. Since these hearings are part of the permanent record, we ask that you speak clearly into the microphone so your comments are properly recorded and can be heard by those in attendance. Please complete the speaker card located on the podium so your name is spelled correctly for the record. The first item is Item number 1 is consideration of amendment to Chapter 110 zoning ordinance regarding Article 5 conditional uses nonconformances and transportation corridor overlay zone, Section 110-169 2 and 5, uses or structures incidental to a church, to add off-site parking as an incidental use to churches. This amendment was tabled on March 22nd, 2026, then it was tabled at the April 21st, 2026 BOC meeting also. This amendment adds a use under conditional use criteria for churches and places of worship to provide for an incidental use for off-site parking subject to specific conditions. Please refer to the report for the full text. Staff recommends approval of the amendment as amended by the Planning Commission. On March 5th, 2026, the Planning Commission voted to recommend approval of an amended version to add a condition to require a traffic plan. And then it was heard by the Board of Commissioners on March 26th and tabled to April 21st. And on April 21st, it was tabled to today's meeting, May the 28th. So this simply adds the use, and it does the staff recommendation as prepared by legal provides some criteria for that use, but staff recommends approval of the amended use, which includes the addition of a parking plan.
Thank you. So, Dennis, with this being part of a public hearing, we ask for those that are in support of this to come first. Is that correct?
That is correct, yes.
Okay. So we got the clock set. So if there are those in the audience that are in favor of this ordinance, you may come at this time and address the board. Seeing none, if there are those in the audience that would like to speak in opposition to this, you may certainly come at this time and speak. And please state your name and your address, please.
My name is Bill Intrican. I live at 53 Forestberry Court, Noonan, Georgia. I'm a member of Flat Creek Baptist Church, where I serve as the project manager there. This is my third appearance before this board regarding the same ordinance. You've heard my objections twice already. They haven't changed. They're obvious. So I'll spare you the recitation of hearing them for the third time. I left here on both of the last two occasions having heard specific instructions from the board to the corrections they expected to be made prior to the next presentation. And yet for the third time, we sit here facing the same senseless rhetoric without any alteration whatsoever. The Board of Commissioners made it quite clear that on my last visit that they do not write the law, but instead they review it for approval or rejection. Any fifth grader with a crayon could have written this ordinance very easily within 10 minutes in a satisfactory format by simply changing the wording that prohibits off-site parking to allowing off-site parking without any of the restrictive stipulations that are attached. Instead, the staff is elected to ignore the instructions they received and submitted the same useless and illegal nonsense for yet another round of discussion. The merit of any ordinance, any regulation, any law should be judged on two simple criteria. Do they serve the citizenship, or do they protect the citizenship, or both? Any such ruling should never be considered where the outcome merely adds power, authority, or control to the government. The stipulations attached to this ordinance do exactly that, without any benefit, without any protection offered to the residents of Fayette County, and without any possible means of enforcement. Furthermore, an ordinance should have a clearly defined and stated purpose and intent. This one has no purpose except to encumber both the local church and the county with additional paperwork, time, and expense by virtue of the stipulations that are added on. Churches serve as the heart and soul of our community. They also represent concentrations of citizens, taxpayers, concentrations of voters. I stand here today representing some 2,000 of them from Flat Creek Church alone, with thousands more across the county. All that any of us are looking for is the opportunity to use our own property as we see fit to serve our Lord. We gratefully acknowledge the financial benefits afforded by the partnership with QTS, but money is only a perk. It's not a motivation. Flat Creek was financially strong before QTS was even thought about, and will remain so without the proceeds from any outside venture. Our purpose as a church is to serve our community by meeting both physical and spiritual needs of all who visit there. We are in contact with all of those who park in our lot, occasionally providing water or coffee or donuts, or always inviting them to service, always inviting them to bring their children to Vacation Bible School, to Sunday School, to any of our events, praying with them and telling them about a God who cares about them. To that end, we at Flat Creek are pursuing another avenue. Yesterday afternoon, I began a conversation with representatives of the QTS Data Center proposing that we completely dissolve our current partnership, with QTS regarding off-site parking. Instead, Flat Creek Church will open the 400 parking spaces on the rear portion of our lot to anyone in the county whose business does not offer adequate on-site parking for its employees, Monday through Saturday, totally free of charge. Our church will not provide transportation to specific places of work. It'll be up to individuals to walk, to bicycle, to carpool, to otherwise get to work on their own from our location. Should businesses choose to provide some sort of pickup services, that's up to them, not on us. While financial donations toward our operation of our church would be greatly appreciated, under no circumstances would anyone be charged for parking on our property. Their parking needs would be met while our opportunity to share the gospel of Christ with our community would grow. Pass whatever version of this ordinance that suits you best. It no longer affects Flat Creek Baptist Church, as we will likely not be leasing our lot for off-site parking in the future. Thank you, gentlemen, for your time.
Thank you, Bill. Are there others who would like to speak in opposition to this? Seeing none, I bring this back to the board. What is the pleasure of the board concerning this, or comments or questions?
Mr. Chairman, move to approve the amendment to Chapter 110.
Do we have a second?
Second.
So we got a motion and a second.
I've got some questions.
Okay, sure.
Dennis, correct me if I'm wrong. If a business is using a church parking lot for off-site parking that supports their for-profit operations in some way, does that mean that the church is now going to be taxed based on that real estate?
An analysis would be performed with respect to whether or not the use is for church purposes. If the use is for church purposes, it would stay tax exempt. To the extent that any part of the property is used for other than church purposes, that portion of the property would be taxable.
That's what I thought. Thank you. So, third time up here, I appreciate your comments, but, I don't appreciate your veiled threats. They don't do anything for me. So you can come up here and talk about how many people are going to vote against us, and, I'm sure that's a good Christian thing for you to do, but I don't appreciate it. And I didn't appreciate your language about a fifth grader either. So if you're trying to come up here and convince us, or somebody like me, that, you want me to vote your way, you didn't do yourself much of a service, pal. That's all I got.
Are there other questions or comments?
I just have one comment.
Sure.
My understanding is this does not prohibit church use. That can continue as it always has. So I'm not exactly sure why the objections, but church use continues. Non-church use is what we're talking about here. So that's what I'm voting on.
Charles, do you have any comments? No? Okay. So we have a motion on the floor. All in favor of said motion say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? Motion carries.
Ready? The next item on the agenda is petition 1378-26A. I would like to remind the petitioners that you have the opportunity to request a deferral since we don't have a full board. Would you like to proceed with this, or would you like to request a table for a meeting? Thank you. So consideration of petition 1378-26A, B, C, and D. These are a related petition that came in as a group. It's a group of properties because they're individual parcels. It's divided up into individual hearings. So we'll present and hold the hearing for each one and then hold the votes for each one after all of the hearings have been conducted.
Okay.
So for consideration of petition 1378-26A, Surin Nadal, owner, applicant is requesting to rezone parcel 0544107 which is 5.23 acres, from AR Agricultural Residential and R20 Single Family Residential to M1 Light Industrial District. The property is located in Lot 219 of the 5th District and fronts on Longview Road. The applicants are requesting to rezone this parcel along with 3 other parcels to M1 with the intent of operating truck parking lot business and other unknown uses permitted in M1. As defined in the Fayette County Comprehensive Plan, Future Land Use Plan, low-density residential is designated for this area, so the request for M1 zoning is not appropriate. Staff recommends denial of the request to rezone to M1. On April 2nd, 2026, the Planning Commission voted to recommend denial of the request to rezone from AR and R20 to M1. Vice Chair Boris Thomas made a motion to deny, and John Cruzan seconded the motion, and the motion passed 5-0. This petition was tabled at the April 21st, 2026 Board of Commissioners meeting and is represented to you tonight. If you'll bring up the maps, please. Property is located off Highway 314 between 314 and Longview Road, just north of the city of Fayetteville. It's on. Okay. Can you advance it, please? Power's onto it, but it's not. There we go. Okay, you can see this property is the 4 parcels highlighted in red. The specific parcel is the one to the south, which is about 5.25 acres. This is a split zone property. The part along Longview Road is zoned R20 and the rest of it is zoned AR. This is the future land use map, which designates the area as low density residential. And then this is the environmental map. The property is not significantly impacted by environmental features in the aerial. This is parcel A to the south, which is the parcel under consideration this evening. So that's all staff has at the moment for
Okay.
1378A.
So Jimmy Pace has brought an additional revised slide presentation that he would like to use. And if there's not an objection from us on the board, then he would like to submit this at this time. It was not, because it,
I object.
okay, so you'll have to move forward with your original
I mean, it
slide
wasn't-
presentation.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't part of the packet that the public could review
I
prior to the
agree.
meeting. Wasn't
I
part of the
agree.
packet that I got to review.
I agree. I hear what you're saying. But so that with this being a public hearing, if you'd like to come at this time and kind of outline the wherefores and arthows of this, it'd be great.
Good evening. Jimmy, I'll call you out in just a second. My name is Matt Gray. I'm an engineer with Moore-Bass Consulting. Business address 37 Calumet Parkway, Noonan, Georgia. I'm here tonight on behalf of the owner, Surin Nandal. I know him better as Donnie, and Jimmy Pace is his business consultant as well. As an overview of the property, is that previous slideshow going to run through it all? Oh, that'd be great. You can advance it to the next one. I'm just starting with a little bit of the site history on this one. This is an old Thomas concrete. Okay. Thank you so much. This is the old Thomas concrete plant site. As you can see here, this is the best imagery that could go back on Google since 2003. You can see that there's been portions of this property that have always been used for industrial uses. It's been that way whether it was zoned for it, whether it was permitted or not. It's there, it's happened, and it was like that since 2003. There's March 2018 on there as well. Donnie started acquiring portions of these parcels in July 2020. As you can see, February 2020 shows pretty clearly that unpermitted activities were taking place. So Donnie started acquiring the first parcel in July 2020, and he just finished up for the 7 parcels that are in this immediate area just last year. It is a goal of this owner to unify the zoning for what has been objectively kind of a mess out there for a number of years. Jimmy Pace can speak more to some of that site history. I am not familiar with it as much, but from my experience, Donnie has worked with Fayette County to resolve these issues, and my updated presentation had some pictures of what the site looks like today. It has been cleaned up. We've done erosion control plans. We've done approved site plans. We have done EPD notice violations resolved. We have sold portions of the property to Fayette County for the dam repair project for Phillips Lake. And in my mind, that speaks to someone that wants to work with the county, remain in the county as a citizen and a business owner. So in addition, how we got here today, I'll get to that in a sec. How we got here today for the rezoning request is an required 75-foot planted landscape buffer between residential and industrial properties. Donnie owns all of this, and the requirement on the site plan, if he wants to do parking along 314 for the cell tower piece and for the current site plan we got just last year to cover previous unpermitted land development activities, a planted landscape buffer is required. As you can see from the site there, a planted landscape buffer is not going to do too well in areas that have been used for concrete washout, compacted gravel for 20 plus years. It's just not going to happen. That's any way feasible for trees to live there. We reached out to staff, tried to come ask if there were alternatives. They said we could apply for a variance, but the variance only affects the buffer width. There is no alternative method for screening. It has to be planted. We've sent pictures of where he tried to dig it up, and it's just nothing but gravel and concrete, 2, 3, 4 feet deep. And we were told by staff that any variance application that we submitted would not be supported by staff because it was considered a self-created harm, which I do not agree with that statement based on previous history. So that's why we proceeded with a rezoning request here tonight. We don't feel like there's any other option to get rid of a 75-foot buffer on existing M1 parcels. He's losing lots of land and just a unfeasible goal of a landscape buffer there. Finally, when we get to the future land use map plan, you can see outlined in blue on the left side, that's the current M1 zonings. The red is the split use zonings that we're asking to be rezoned here tonight. The current land use map shows it accurately in that middle picture, the current zoning map. The future land use map plan shows that industrial properties north of us, which is the Lee Center, there's just a clean line drawn between it, just magically becoming low-density residential for the future land use map plan. We've looked at it, and we believe that the comprehensive plan supports industrial in this vicinity. As you know, there's not a lot of industrial space in Fayette County. The ones that exist right here on this corridor, right here with the Lee Center. So, Jimmy, if you come up on the final point that we were working through here tonight is the staff's conditions. And I have some proffered conditions to present to the board.
Sure.
Nope. These weren't presented to the planning committee when they passed this.
We received the recommended conditions that were revised after the planning commission meeting. We spoke with staff. We came to an impasse on what the required recommended zoning conditions were. They said they did not want to meet with us anymore, so we kept these for your presentation here tonight to show our proffered conditions.
I mean, I understand what you're trying to do, and I appreciate that. The problem is that we don't want to consider anything in this packet that the public hasn't had a chance to review. And these are posted the Friday last week, and that gives us and the public a chance to review everything that we're going to be voting on in one of these public hearings. So that's the issue that I've got with it.
Okay. If you allow me to speak through our proffered conditions, the first one is for condition A, is to combine all the properties. We just wanted the clarification note added there that the combination is contingent about all of these properties receiving rezoning requests. We can't rezone all the properties if they're all a separate vote, so we can't combine all of them if they're not all approved. And then the other one was just a request to go from a 75-foot planted buffer to a 50-foot planted buffer along Longview Road. So that's it for A. I have other ones for B, but I'll save it for that time.
Okay. All right, so we'll save 12 minutes for his rebuttal. Are there those in the audience who would like to come and speak in favor of this rezoning? May come at this time. Seeing none, are there those in the audience that would like to come at this time and speak in opposition to this rezoning? So, seeing none. So, Dennis, it's appropriate for us to go through all the public hearings prior to our votes. Is that correct?
That's correct, Mr. Chairman.
Okay. So we'll move to item B, please. 3.
Thank you. Consideration of petition 1378-26B. Sir Nundal, owner applicant is requesting to rezone parcel 0544129, which is 7.06 acres, from AR agricultural residential and R20 single-family residential to M1 light industrial. Property is located in land lot 219 in the 5th District and fronts on Longview Road. So applicants request to rezone this parcel along with the other 3 to M1 with the intent of operating truck parking lot business and other unknown uses permitted in M1. As defined in the Fayette County Comprehensive Plan's future land use plan, low density is residential is designated for this area, so the request for M1 zoning district is not appropriate. Staff recommends denial of the request to rezone to M1. On April 2nd, 2026, the Planning Commission also voted to recommend denial of the request to rezone from AR and R20 to M1. This petition was tabled by the Board of Commissioners at the April 21st, 2026 meeting. And if you'll pull the map back up, I'll point out this parcel. So this is parcel B, which is the backwards C-shaped parcel, the larger parcel of the 4, just so that you can see which parcel it is. And all of the other items remain the same. That's all I have right now, unless you have questions.
So if reset the clock to 20 minutes, thank you. So if there are those in the audience, and again, you may come and kind of outline your wherefore and wherefores on item B.
Matt Gray, engineer with Moore-Bass Consulting, business address 37 Calumet Parkway, Newnan, Georgia. Same thing, I won't go through it again. I think we all get the point on what I was trying to say. The proffered conditions on this one, this has a barn piece existing on there. The demolition permit to remove the structure is item 1. We agreed to that. Item 2 just is a clarification that all parcels need to be rezoned for them to be combined. We agreed to subject property to have no direct access to Longview Road, and requesting a 75-foot landscape buffer be reduced to 50-foot on Longview Road. Thank you so much.
Thank you. So are there those in the audience that would like to speak in favor of this rezoning? Seeing none, are there those in the audience that would like to speak in opposition to this rezoning? Seeing none, we'll move to item C then. Debbie, please.
Okay. Item number 4 is consideration of petition 1378-26-C. Sir Nundal, owner applicant is requesting to rezone parcel 0544008A, which is 0.98 acres, from R20 single-family residential to M1 light industrial. Property is located in land lot 219 of the 5th District and fronts on Longview Road. Applicants are requesting to rezone this parcel along with the other 3 parcels to M1. As defined in the Fayette County Comprehensive Plan's future land use plan, low-density residential is designated for this area, so the request for M1 zoning district is not appropriate, and staff recommends denial of the request to rezone M1. On April 2nd, 2026, the Planning Commission voted to recommend denial of the motion, and the motion passed 5-0. This petition was also heard at the board's April 21st, 2026 meeting and tabled from that meeting to this meeting. If you'll pop the map back up. Okay, so parcel C is the northernmost of the smaller parcels that have frontage directly and entirely on Longview.
Okay. Mac, if you'd like to come up and talk about parcel number C.
Yes, this is the main item that we couldn't agree with staff on, and they wouldn't put it in their recommended conditions, which is why I held it until tonight to present, because we cannot agree to condition number 1 for a demolition permit on the existing structure there. It's a single-family house that the owner has very recently renovated, and it would be a financial harm to him to have to demo that house. So that is strike from condition number 1. Condition number 2 relates to demolition of the existing driveway. We just clarified in there the existing driveway access from Longview Road to be removed. The entire driveway kind of ties hand in hand with the demolition of the structure, which we do not agree to. Item 3 clarifies the combination of the parcels are contingent upon the rezoning of all the petitions here tonight. Item 4 is unchanged, that no direct access to Longview Road unless required by the fire marshal. And number 5 is the 75-foot landscape buffer reduced to 50-foot. On the site plan, the front setback for that house in existing conditions is 60 feet. 75 feet would be through the middle of the living room. So that's the reason for the 50-foot requested buffer, and that's why the other ones were changed as well, to make a uniform 50-foot buffer along Longview Road. And in addition, the existing house structure that's there, M1 does allow conditional use zoning for single-family residential structures. We would pursue that option, but otherwise, we would convert the house to a commercial, approved zoning condition or zoning usage there for a business. Black Creek Trail has a recent example that has a single-family house that's now an accounting center or accounting firm. So similar type of use there is what we are, which is why we are requesting that that house remain, because it is a useful and viable structure.
So are there those in the audience that would like to come and speak in support of this rezoning? Are there those in the audience that would like to speak in opposition to this rezoning? So Debbie, we'll let you do the D then, please.
Thank you. Item number 5 is Part D of this package, consideration of petition 1378-26D. Cernundal owner applicant is requesting to rezone parcel 0544032, which is 0.98 acres, from R20 single-family residential to M1 light industrial. The property is located in land lot 219 of the 5th district and fronts on Longview Road. Applicants are requesting to rezone this fourth of the 4 parcels to M1 with the intent of operating a truck parking lot, business, and other uses permitted in M1. As defined in the Fayette County Comprehensive Plan's future land use plan, the low-density residential is designated for this area, so the request for M1 zoning district is not appropriate, and staff recommends denial of the request to rezone M1. On April 2nd, 2026, the Planning Commission voted to recommend denial of the request to rezone from R20 to M1. This petition was presented to the Board of Commissioners at the April 21st, 2026 meeting and was tabled to today. And it is the southernmost of the 2 smaller parcels that fronts directly on Longview on the map. So part is labeled as parcel D.
Okay. Thank you, Debbie. Mac, would you like to?
Last one.
Thank you.
This one, we do not have a problem with the demolition permit on this structure. This house is run down, too far gone. We totally agree that it needs to be demoed. Item 2, just the clarification that all parcels need to be rezoned for them to be combined. Item 3, no change for no access along Longview Road. And item 5, to say consistent, the 75-foot requested to 50-foot landscape buffer. As I stated earlier, it is my opinion that Donnie has been working with Fayette County to clean up this site. There were pictures I was hoping to present to you tonight of what it looked like March 2020, and it was very, I don't know how well you guys are familiar with the property, but I've spoken with people who know about it and know that it's been a mess, and out there today, I would say it's stabilized and it looks 100 times better than what it did 6 years ago. And I think for that reason that we are just trying to continue to clean up this site, and I think split zoning does not make sense with the history of this site. And I think rezoning to all M1 is what makes sense for this contingent area, and it is compliant with the future comp plan in the area of industrial along 314 south of Bethea Road. And I would appreciate your efforts to get us across the finish line on this one.
My name is Jimmy Pace, live at 180 Brecken Drive. I would also like to speak in favor of this rezoning application. All 4 applications, were required to be submitted independently, though we're treating them as one application tonight. I would also like to add that there's no instructions on the certified letters or the emails that were received with instructions to submit information the Friday prior to be heard or seen, and so that is one of the reasons why we weren't aware. The last meeting, we submitted our presentation the night of, and so we were expecting the same hospitality tonight. There's nobody that is speaking in opposition to this rezoning, because the people that did speak at the rezoning during the Planning Commission listened to the presentation and understood that it was actually better for their neighborhood to have this rezoning approved. The low-density residential zoning plan is designated for neighborhoods with 1-acre lots. This area will never be a neighborhood with 1-acre lots, so it doesn't fit, it hasn't fit, and it will never fit going forward. The inaccuracy on the future land use plan and the inconsistency with the comprehensive plan should not be the sole reason to deny fixing commercial property that's been used for 30 years as commercial property and calling it residential property. If you look at the comprehensive plan, the industrial use is identified along State Road 314, and if you read the comprehensive plan, I know some of you probably wrote it, but it supports existing uses being considered during rezoning, and it supports reusing existing structures where necessary, or when necessary, and purposing existing structures. It's in the comprehensive plan as a priority A, I believe. And so we're asking for your consideration of what this property actually has been used for previously, in order to, one, clean up the mess of the zoning issues, because split zoning is not favorable to anybody, including the county. And this area will never be a low-density residential neighborhood, which is what was kind of painted across the whole top of the county area, when it's just not an accurate future land use plan for this specific area. And so when you dial in and look at it, it just begs to be fixed. And so we're just asking you to fix this area that's been used as commercial property for the last 30 years and properly zoned. The neighbors are in favor of the rezoning. The Planning Commission voted to deny our approval, not because they felt like it was a bad request, but because we couldn't agree to the conditions which we had received 24 hours in advance of the meeting. Our last meeting, we had 5 minutes of, an hour and a half into the meeting, we were given 5 minutes notice that we weren't going to be able to withdraw petition C because it just wasn't, petition C is not critical to the process of what we're trying to do, but it makes sense long-term to have it all zoned contiguous versus what we would like to call a notch in the zoning. If you go back and look at the comprehensive plan map, you will see that there's commercial zoning that goes all the way from 314 all the way to Longview, and it wraps around Bethea Road, and it's called out on the comprehensive plan as that's what the purpose and entitlement of that property is. So I hope that we don't just focus on the future land use plan. That's wrong, materially wrong, and that we can take a broader look at what the intent of the comprehensive land use plan is. And I hope that we can resolve and clean up this zoning issue the way that Donnie has cleaned up the mess that has been in this area for a long time. I know these deputies are aware of 259 and the activities that have gone on there. That has stopped in this neighborhood. The neighbors are thrilled that it's no longer a house of ill repute, and we're willing to tear that down when the initial intent was to repair it just as he's repaired the 255 residents as well. Thank you.
Thanks.
So are there those in the audience that would like to speak in support of this rezoning? Seeing none, are there those that would come at this time and speak in opposition to this rezoning? Seeing none, I bring this back to the board.
You have somebody, I think.
I'm sorry? Sure, absolutely. I didn't mean to overlook you, I'm sorry. Hey, that's okay. Give us your name and your address, please.
Jonathan Bonner, 220 Pepperdine Way. I just want to make them know I'm opposing this. I was born and raised in Fayetteville, so having that area cleaned up, I appreciate Mr. Donnie doing that, but I think we should stop putting parking lots everywhere. While you still keep on importing big trucks and things of that matter to go into our roads, destroy them, and Mr. Donnie is just thinking about short term. He's not thinking about neighborhoods. He's not thinking about the consequences of the traffic, the parking, X, Y, and Z. All that being said, I would love to see the PowerPoint. I would love to see the neighbors that approved of this, things of that matter. But just to be quite frank, they don't have any of their information correct. They don't have it properly documented. They didn't properly submit it. We shouldn't even be considering any of their considerations to pass this. I would at least want, like you said, Friday to be submitted, not the day of. So I think they need to do their due diligence and actually properly submit it. That's all I have. Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you. We appreciate your comments. Are there others who would like to speak in opposition? So there is opportunity for rebuttal, correct? So Jimmy or Mac, y'all can certainly welcome to come up here.
Yeah, so one, I want to just make sure that our neighbors are aware that the truck parking that is existing and has been going on for years is not expanding. The site plan that we have submitted to the county, which is not included in the presentation from the county, only shows parking in areas that have been parking since 2003. And so, we're not planning or have the intent to mass grade the site and turn it into a total parking area, but we also are giving up all access to Longview, and so any and all access would come out to 314, which is already been expanded and can and will support the traffic. I was also reminded last month that traffic isn't a condition of zoning when we were talking about rezoning Adams Farm to O&I to provide traffic for the QTS facility. When that was approved, one of the comments was that traffic isn't a condition of rezoning. And so it's talked about a lot, but apparently it's not one of the things that is to be considered. Also, Rick Lindsay did the same thing with that same rezoning last month, where he brought a condition that was approved without being vetted, and it added a fence, if you remember. And so there, if you could update your instructions to the applicants when you send the letter explaining the dates of the meeting and the deadlines for submitting this information would have been available and submitted. It wasn't communicated at all. Thank you.
Thank you, Jimmy. The other comments, Mac, do you have any follow-up comments? Okay. So we have, sure. You have something to, okay. So I'm bringing it back to the board, and we'll start with item number 2, the 137826A. What's the pleasure of the board?
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion regarding petition 1378-26-A for, that's being presented this evening for denial.
Do I have a second?
Second.
So we got a motion and a second. Is there any other discussion?
I need to say something.
Sure.
I need to say something, because the whole process here, first of all, we're doing 4 individual hearings, not because that's our choice, but that's what the courts instructed the Fayette County to do when we had rezonings where parcels were being combined like this. So we have to do individual hearings, just as we're doing here. I have not been clear on what, in fact, even this evening, it sounds like you're saying you would accept no access to Longview Road, but you won't accept 75-foot buffers or remove a property. I'm bringing this up because I've been in a similar situation. This is difficult for you guys to hear, and it's difficult for some of us here to even consider. I've been in a similar situation with my parents, my family. We ended up compromising with the county. We ended up having AR on one side, buffer down the middle, and commercial on a highway. We had no access, but we tried to work immediately. I don't know what's gone on here. I'm a little confused by all that's being offered, and I apologize, but as I see this, and I did have very brief discussions and suggested that this thing be taken and worked on, continue to work on with the county, not try and go forward with it as it was. So for that reason, I'm going to vote like I do tonight. I'm not basing this on a future land use plan. I looked at that, and I did see the connection. I saw the arguments that are being made. I also had the advantage of having personal experience in a similar situation. And we did not continue or change. We just immediately, we didn't, the developer immediately took off the access points, negotiated the property was going to be left. We think that it would have been better the way we presented it, but it was done. and we've moved on. I don't know what's going to happen here if this doesn't get passed, but I think whatever the time frame is, time limit, you get back with the county and figure out how you can do it. Because right now, it's not in shape that we can vote for it, or that I can.
You have comments? Any other questions?
I'll reserve my comments at the end, any comments I might have at the end of all of them.
Sure. So we have a motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Thank you. So, I'm sorry, so.
Next item.
Yes,
Okay.
next
Sorry.
item.
Let me let you do your part.
Okay, thank you.
Item number 3.
I do appreciate that.
Yes, sir.
So the next item is consideration of petition 1378-26-B. What's the pleasure of the board?
Make a motion to deny based on staff request for the submitted application 1378-26-B.
Second.
So we got a motion and a second. Any comments concerning this? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Consideration of petition 1378-26C.
I make a motion to deny said position, item number 4.
Second.
So got a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? And then consideration of petition 1378-26-D.
In that reference, I make a motion to deny.
Second.
So we got a motion and a second. Any other discussion?
Yeah, let me just say, M1 is a hurdle that I just cannot reach with all that's going on right now in our county, that area, and I am pleased to see that the applicant is willing to make some efforts to clean it up. It's just, from my vantage point, that area is not ideal for an M1 and all that can go into there. I encourage people who may be listening to look at that. Hopefully, as we move and embark upon a review of our comprehensive plan, an area such as this can be looked at with people sitting at the table to look at the long-term idea plans that might benefit that area in terms of future growth and opportunities that exist in the county. And so I encourage you all not to abandon this, but to participate in the ongoing process, because I hear a lot of things that are unclear that need some clarification. I'm sure our county administrator and staff will work on those issues going forward so there's clarity and better understanding of what our processes are. My reluctance, I'll speak for myself, to receive any information up here the night of does not give me a chance to review it. And not being able to review it, I cannot make a well-informed decision. And so just the general public, getting that type of information out to us in advance as much as you can benefits me, and I think I can speak for my colleagues as well. Reading it here, trying to listen to the presentations doesn't do either of us justice. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Those are my comments.
So we have a motion and
Just a quick comment.
Yeah.
Honestly, the reason I'm voting against it has nothing to do with the fact that the future land use plan says this is low-density residential. To me, it's an obvious use of light industrial or some form of commercial development. Looking at the proximity of it to the other properties that are around it, the corridor that it's on, I don't have a problem with that. The problem that I've got is that you've got what's right now has been developed as a residential structure, and you're trying to incorporate that into light industrial. I hear what you're saying about, well, we may turn that into an accounting firm or some other sort of low impact business, but we don't know that. Right now I want to do all this and keep this house, maybe rent it. I don't know, because once you get out of here, I won't see it. So that's kind of the way my thoughts are on this one. So thanks, Mr. Chairman.
welcome. Other comments? We have a motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Thank you. Item 6.
Item 6 is consideration of petition 1820-26. We did advise the applicant that they had the opportunity okay, you want to proceed with this then? Yes. Okay. Just confirming for the record. So, consideration of petition 1380-26, Mark Worcester, owner, and Dave Barber, agent. Applicants are requesting to rezone parcel number 0517115, which is 2.012 acres, from R40 Single Family Residential to CH Highway Commercial. Property is located in land lot 70 of the 5th District and fronts on Highway 85 South. Applicant is requesting to rezone from R40 to CH. It was rezoned from AR to R40 conditional under petition 1132-04 in October 28th of 2004. The condition at the time was an extended front yard setback. If this is rezoned to CH, it will be subject to the state route overlay requirements, and that condition would no longer be necessary because the state route overlay meets or exceeds that. The area is designated for commercial under the future land use plan, so the request is consistent with the comprehensive plan, and staff recommends approval of the request to rezone to CH. On May 7th, 2026, Planning Commission voted to recommend approval of the request to rezone from R40 to CH. As mentioned, if you'll pull up the map, please. It's located just south of Fayetteville. It's this yellow parcel there highlighted just below the other adjacent commercial property. And this is the future land use plan, which shows that the commercial zone does encompass that property. It's not significantly impacted by environmental features. There's a stream at the back, and that will be addressed in any development plan. And this is just an aerial view. It shows a utility easement crossing the property. A survey of the property there. That's all I have at the moment.
Okay. Is the applicant present? Would you like to make some comments?
David Barber, 180 Walter Way, Suite 114, Fayetteville. We're just trying to get it to comply with the current land use is all it is.
Okay. That's simple. That's straightforward. Thank you, David. So are there those in the audience that'd like to come and speak in favor of this rezoning? Seeing none, are there those in the audience that would like to come and speak in opposition to this? Seeing none, I bring this back to the board. What's the pleasure?
I move to approve petition 1380-26.
Second.
So you got a motion and a second. Any other questions or comments? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? Thank you. Item 7.
Item number 7 is petition 1381-26, and the applicant's agent did advise that they would like to request to table this until the June meeting, which is June the 25th, and we do have time to rezone that since there's not a full board tonight, or to re-advertise that, I'm sorry.
We need a vote to table, don't we, Dennis? Move to table this petition, 1381-26.
It doesn't require a second, is
Right.
that correct? So all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Dennis is getting me trained. That's good.
Thank you.
Thank you. This time we have public comment. Speakers will be given a 5-minute maximum time limit to speak before the Board of Commissioners about various topics, issues, and concerns. Speakers must direct comments to the board. Responses are reserved at the discretion of the board. Are there those in the audience who would like to come this afternoon and speak? Please come forward. Seeing none, I close public comment. Consent agenda. What is the pleasure?
Mr. Chairman, move to approve the consent agenda with a correction to item number 8. Item number 8 says the resolution is 2025-11. It should read 2026-11. Correct.
So we got a motion and a second. See any other discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? No old business, new business. Request to appoint Beverly Daniel to the Fayette County elections for an unexpired term beginning June the 1st, June the 3rd. Dadgummit. Okay, that's good. And expiring January the 31st, 2023. And
2023.
did I say?
It's 2030. Is that the
I
right?
got the right numbers. I got them
That's
in
not
the
the right
wrong
number,
order.
is it?
2030.
Wait a
Thank
second.
you.
That's not the right number, is it?
So, any discussion we need to have on that in Beverly?
Okay.
So we have-
Second.
we've got a motion?
Oh, second. Dennis, if you're okay with that, I'll second.
She's okay with it. She's also here as well.
Okay,
Yes.
great.
Beverly?
She wanted to make any comment?
Yes. Do you want to make some comments? Short, we prefer.
Don't scare her off.
I'd just like to say thank you, and I look forward to serving.
Thank you.
Thank you,
We
Beverly.
appreciate you being
Appreciate
willing
it.
to, yes, thank you for being willing to do that. So we have a motion and a second. Any other discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Thank you, Beverly. We appreciate it. All right, now, next item. Tim. We always see you, don't we?
Yes,
That's a
I'm
good
afraid.
thing.
Proverbial bad penny turning up. Anyway, Mr. Chairman and Commissioners, I'm here to seek your approval for contract number 26054-P for a change order number 1 for the construction of the Phase 2 Animal Shelter Project by Media Construction in the sum of $1,545,735. This would increase their contract to a total of $1,838,235. As you will recall, we appointed Media as the construction managers at risk back in the January 22nd meeting of this year. Since then, they have reviewed the design and made some tweaks and come up with a guaranteed maximum price. The total of that is actually $3,372,690. Due to a funding issue, as you're aware of, which we talked about at the retreat, we're having to split this into 2 phases so that we can be expedient with getting on with placing orders for various bits of steel and also getting the site work underway. My expectation is that we'll be back in one of the July Board of Commissioners meetings for the balance of this GMP. If you have any questions, I'd be happy to take them.
So, how many additional kennels is this going to?
24.
24. And they are going to be of an appropriate size that everybody is going to be happy with them. Is that correct?
Yes,
I
sir.
believe so, sir, yeah.
Okay. I'm liking this.
I will say this is probably appropriate enough. We can drag Tracy out of the back, but she's back there hiding. But I will tell you, this is a huge undertaking for her. No one's going to be happier than Tracy if this gets approved this evening. Is that true, Tracy?
Right.
So do I have a motion for?
Sure, Mr. Chairman, I'll move to approve contract 26054-P, change order number 1.
Second.
So we got a motion and a second. Any other discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All
See you in
opposed?
July. Hope
Thank
you're
you.
happy, Tracy.
Thank you.
Good evening. So in January, I was here with the initial task order to go ahead and bore under,
I think we have Mr. Hoffman before you, unless you're going to take care of his MIR project.
Okay.
Mr. Mallon, you want to step
I
up?
was wondering
We're on
what was going on.
15.
You're just one agenda ahead. You can sit right there, and then Phil's going to come up and do his. We're going to do the agenda in order as it was published.
Top gun.
Well, good afternoon. On behalf of the Road Department, I'm seeking the board approval to accept a local road assistance grant from the state of Georgia in the amount of $1,184,256. This is in addition to the annual LMIG. I think this is the second year this has been offered from the state. It's not a guarantee it's going to happen next year, but we certainly are thankful for it this year. If the board accepts the money and approves the road list, the road department asked me to let you know that all the roads on there are subdivision roads. These are going to get traditional resurfacing, and they are the worst roads we have in terms of our subdivisions. We're kind of doing worst first with this money.
Good. Mr. Chairman, move to approve the grant from GDOT.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. Comments or
Yeah,
questions?
question.
Phil, and just, is this money locked in before the tax holiday or abatement?
Yes, yeah, this money is pretty much locked in. All we got to do is submit, and then we'll get a check. And there is no local match. This is as good of a program as there possibly could be.
Dollar for dollar.
Great.
If I missed it, I apologize. It's requiring no match.
No match.
It's good. Tell GDOT thank you.
Yes, absolutely.
We appreciate it. So we got a motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
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 All opposed. Thank you, Phil.
Thank you.
Vanessa, you
Now
are
it's your
next.
turn.
We're going to talk to Jeff after this.
No fire truck for you.
Just still tired.
So in January, I was here talking to you about needing to replace or bore under Morning Creek over the Kenwood Bridge Road. And this is a change order to that original task order. And the agenda states the 3 reasons we need to go ahead and make these changes to the original task order so we can complete the job quickly and to our specifications.
All right, Mr. Chairman, move to approve contract 2563-B, change order number 2.
Second.
So we got a motion and a second. Any other discussion or questions? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Thank you, Vanessa.
Thank you.
Thanks, Vanessa.
Administrators reports.
We actually held a Whitewater Creek Nature Area ribbon cutting today. Went really, really well. Had approximately, how many folks we have out there, Phil? About 75, 100 people? I mean, we had quite a few people out there. He was pretty shocked that we don't have those kind of numbers when we have our covert ribbon cuttings, but it was well attended, so that was a really good event. And then I've sent you an update for our hot projects. So you have an update in regards to the multi-purpose facility, Darren Drive culvert replacement, Cross Creek culvert replacement, Brandon Mill Circle culvert replacement, the Justice Center build-out, Kenwood Park Morning Creek Bridge, and then Crosstown Generator Project. That's all I have.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Dennis, attorney's reports.
Mr. Chairman, I do have 4 items for executive session, 3 involving threatened litigation, 1 to review your executive session minutes from May the 14th, 2026. That's all I have, Mr. Chairman.
Okay. Commissioners reports. Sure, absolutely.
Hey, Phil Mallon, if I could get with you after this, I'd just like to talk a little bit about Spear Road and Ebenezer Road intersection. And that's all I have, Mr. Chairman.
Good. Okay. I will just tell you that I'm working with Brooks on a project and trying to get the details ironed out. I'm not going. We hadn't gotten anything anywhere, but I'm Phil Mallon and the mayors of Brooks go-between. So I'll just tell you that I'm working on that. When I have that resolved, I'll bring that back to the board. Okay.
Good.
Are there other comments?
Yeah, let me encourage our community at large to participate in our comprehensive transportation review that is underway. To keep your eyes and ears open, you may have heard me mention or recall me mentioning earlier that we're moving towards a review of our comprehensive land use management plan.
Sure.
So often when I'm out in the community, in the district, people are talking about transportation, talking about zoning matters, talking about future land use. And I encourage you all to participate in that process that is in one respect underway, in another respect being prepared for. In addition to that, there's some information that has been put out with respect to a path system that would do some interconnectivity within our county, and I'm encouraging people to avail themselves of that as well and register your comments and concerns. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Those are my items.
Good comments.
Yeah, just a quick alibi, Mr. Chairman. I wasn't here last meeting because I was attending my nephew's high school graduation. But had I been here, what I would have said was that Memorial Day and Memorial Day weekend were approaching. We just had that this past Monday. or Sunday. And, you know, I appreciate everybody. As a veteran, I appreciate it when people wish me a happy Memorial Day. But that's not the purpose of Memorial Day.
Right.
Memorial Day is when I think about the people I lost who served in uniform. So keep that in mind, that Memorial Day doesn't commemorate veterans. It commemorates veterans who lost their lives serving their country.
Yeah.
And be mindful of that when you speak to each other, when you consider what the purpose of that day is, especially when you speak to a veteran. Veterans Day is for all who served. So very appropriate when people wish me happy Veterans Day. But when you when we approach Memorial Day and we commemorate Memorial Day, it's not a celebration, it's commemoration. Thanks, Mr. Chairman.
Other comments? Do I have a motion to go into executive session?
So moved.
Second?
Got a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Deb, good job.